In this video, you guys are going to learn one of the key strategies that helped me scale my detailing business to $50,000 per month, because if you guys actually want to scale past $15,000 per month, past $20,000 per month, and hit those $30,000, $40,000, or $50,000 months, then there's a lot more things that have to get done inside of the business, and you guys simply can't do all those things alone. So in this video, we're going to jump into the topic of delegation, specifically on how I hired an operations manager VA to complete all the back-end work that needed to be done. This way I can help grow the company faster while doing less, guys. And now real quick, this is going to be one of the first ever videos that I'm actually recording like this, one with this template called Miro. And essentially in these videos, they're just going to be straight value on how you guys can actually make more money inside of your detailing business, because I know that's why you guys are here. You guys want to scale your detailing business and actually create a solid amount of wealth out of it, a good amount of cash flow, while also not working on it 24/7. So that's where I come in to help you guys scale your detailing business. Because just to give you guys some background, I got into the industry not only because I love the automotive scene, not only because I love cars, I love detailing, all this sort of stuff, but because I actually wanted to create a solid business that generates a good amount of cash flow every single month. And real quick, there's so much opportunity inside of the detailing industry, guys. It's $1 billion, not even $1 million, $1 billion industry, the automotive industry is, guys. So there's so much wealth to be made inside of it. But real quick, you guys just have to captivate on it, and sometimes just making a simple switch into really programming yourself to be the best entrepreneur possible. So in all these videos I'm going to be creating, that's our main goal, to make you guys the best entrepreneur possible. This way you guys can make as much money as possible inside of your detailing business, guys. So let's jump straight on into it. But real quick, we're gonna go over it all. So in this video, it's specifically on why every auto detailer needs to hire an operations manager VA. This is how you're gonna get more done with less of your time. Now, real quick, jumping straight on into it, the main problem, guys, is that all of you guys are simply in something called chaos mode. You guys are pretty much doing almost every single task inside of your business. I don't know what all you guys are specifically doing, but I know that a lot of you guys are probably, maybe you're the marketer, maybe you're the salesperson, maybe you're even still doing the details. Maybe you're doing all these things, and these things cannot all be done by you. You guys have to delegate these tasks. And pretty much you guys, with the back end specifically, you guys are still, making your business cards. You guys are still, doing everything in the back end, organizing your email, sending out emails, posting up on social media. All these things can be delegated to an operations manager VA, which obviously we're going to talk about in this video, but that's the main issue right now. You guys are in chaos mode, and the thing that it's doing to you is, it's draining your time. You guys have no back end systems. You guys have a growth bottleneck. There's a lot of team issues probably inside of your company, and you guys are just completing way too many low leverage tasks. Now that's the key with delegation, guys. The thing inside of your business to actually help grow it faster is you as a business owner want to focus on the highest leverage tasks possible. Those most likely being where you guys are at right now, sales and marketing. That's what actually is going to move your guys' company forward. Completing things such as the details, doing these back-end tasks. They're lower leverage and they can be delegated out to other people. Obviously the details are delegated out to the technicians, and these back-end tasks can be delegated to these operations manager VAs. So real quick, obviously, like I was just saying, the solution is an operations manager. Now, real quick too as well, what is an operations manager? Now, obviously an operations manager is someone that controls, all the systems inside of your company, controls a lot of, just the company in general. But what we're talking about specifically is an operations manager VA. So what I went forth and did is I hired a virtual assistant from the Philippines that filled this operations manager role. And the reason why I hired them from the Philippines is because, their hourly is fairly cheap. So you're not spending a lot of money on them just because, they're in a different country. And obviously, the currency exchange from USD to their currency, their currency is not as strong. So we're able to pay them, not a lot. So you're not actually burning through your pockets just to get an operations manager VA inside of the company. It's fairly cheap, and they also have such a good work ethic. My operations manager, she's absolutely amazing. She works, all the time. I'm very grateful for her. She's helped me so much inside of my company. And even though she's from a different side of the world, she's still able to benefit my company because everything that she does is simply done on the computer. And then pretty much what they can do, there's multiple things that they can do, and we'll jump into that later in the video. But overall, that's what an operations manager is. That's specifically what an operations manager VA from the Philippines is. And then real quick, jumping on into it, why is this actually so benefits? So the benefits, why is this so beneficial? So the benefits of it is you'll get into growth mode, guys. And simply what you guys will have is you guys will save more time. You guys will have faster back-end growth. You have proper systems in place, and you guys will start focusing on the higher leverage tasks, and you guys will have more financial stability as well. And we'll jump into how you guys will have more financial stability in the future. And now real quick too as well, how do you find and hire your operations manager? So real quick, I'm going to read over this. So you guys can find your operations manager by creating a job listing on onlinejobs.ph. You guys can look that up right now. That's onlinejobs.ph. And pretty much in the description, what you guys want is you guys want to specifically talk about what they're going to be doing inside your company. Now, what you guys want them to do is you guys want them to handle backend systems, SOPs, digital systems, team coordination, etc. Guys, whatever you need them for, you want to put on this listing on onlinejobs.ph, and we recommend using them on the day rate model. So I actually don't pay my operations manager hourly, I pay them on a day rate. My operations manager is currently on a $35 per day day rate, and pretty much that just helps because this also, my operations manager, as you guys know, while she's working, it's nighttime for her while it's daytime for us. And I actually believe in one thing inside of my company. I care about every single one of my employees, even my operations manager, I care about her so much, and I don't want her really working all the time. But that's why overall day rate is the best model for them. A lot of people pay them hourly, but I think day rate's the best. It's been working out really good for me. And then also too, once they're hired, what I like to do is I like to hop on, a morning meeting with them. The morning for us, so I like to hop on with them around 8:30 a.m. That's 8:30 p.m. for their time. And we just have like a 30-minute to an hour call, just going over everything every single day, going over their tasks, what they need to do, what they need to complete, and all that sort of stuff. Another thing we did too as well is all of my employees are actually in a Slack channel, including my operations manager, because she also goes forth and we're going to jump into this later, but she pretty much handles inventory, and she kind of has good communications with my lead tech. This way, they can order the chemicals properly, make sure everything gets ordered correctly. And then also too, you want to have the constant communication with them. Whenever I need something from her, I'll just send her a voice message over on WhatsApp, and then she'll get that done ASAP. Like it says down here, communication can be done via WhatsApp, Slack, whatever you really guys need. The main thing is just actually communicate with them 24/7, and really treat them like your own virtual assistant, because they're here to help you 24/7 to scale your company. And now real quick, let's get straight on into it. So here are the main core responsibilities of your operations manager. So real quick, there's a lot of things that you guys can have them do, but this is specifically what I have mine do to help grow my detailing business as much as possible. So the first one is SOP organization, guys. So as you guys know, SOPs are so important, because if you guys actually want to systemize your company properly, maybe sell it in the future, maybe delegate it properly in the future, then you guys need SOPs in place. And my operations manager, she goes forth and she creates pretty much all of my SOPs. If you guys see on here in my Google Drive, we have it super organized. Everything inside of my company is as organized as possible, because I'm super OCD. And the more organized your company is, the easier it will flourish, and just the easier things work, the easier systems work, all that sort of stuff. So in here, you guys can see we have our drive. And in our drive, we have, let me just take a look over here. We have our Caruso's SOPs. So I'll pull up an SOP for you guys right now. And there's multiple SOPs that need to be inside your company. We're not even nearly close to creating all of ours. But real quick, we'll just bring up one. So here's like a non-compete clause that we have all of our employees sign. So she pretty much went ahead and she created these using ChatGTP. And overall, this is it. Boom, boom, boom. It has our nice logo in the background. It looks good, white lettering, all that sort of stuff. So this is our non-compete that she created. Then what we also have is another SOP that we had her create in place is, let's see, a roles description. Obviously, you got one of my lead tech's roles and responsibilities. And this is another nice SOP that she created. Obviously, as you guys can see, it has my background in it of the company. It looks solid, and it's just, it's a super critical thing to have inside of your company if you want to scale it to be a genuine business. So that's one thing that she does, is she creates all of the SOPs. And now another thing that she actually goes forth and does is hiring and team support. Now, one of the things you guys want to be doing constantly inside of your business is you guys want to be hiring 24/7. Now, what does this mean? Even if you guys have all of your employees in place right now, what happens if one of them, maybe gets super sick, God forbid, maybe one of them just leaves your company, quits your company randomly? You guys want someone to instantly come in and fill that spot. So the only reason you guys are going to have that person is if you guys are constantly hiring. So we have a job listing, 24/7 on an app called Better Team. And essentially what we do on Better Team is, we always have a job listing up. And now what we do, even if our company is already filled out, like right now, I don't need any more employees in place right now. Once I get into a shop and I want to scale to $100,000 per month, then I'm going to have to need another employee in place. But as of right now, we're just getting all of our employees on the bench, ready to come into the game. But once someone submits a job listing, there's a couple steps that they have to go through to get inside of the company. The first one is just a general background check. And that general background check is hosted on Zoom with my operations manager VA. So they pretty much go on that call, and pretty much on that call, she's going to walk them through, just very simple stuff, see their criminal record, it's very basic stuff, very basic screening, simple stuff to pass them through, through the steps, because the next step after that is a Zoom call with me. And if that Zoom call with me is good, then we will bring them on in person. But I don't want to be hopping on that Zoom call with anyone that's, not even close to being suited for the company. That's where she handles that first step. So she handles hiring, putting up our job listings, all that. But also she handles team support. Now, guys, that's where it comes in. Like I said, I have her inside of a Slack channel. I can actually pull that up right now for you guys. Let me just take a look. That is not over there. That is over here. So pretty much if you come in here, I have a Slack channel for the business where every single one of my employees is inside of it. Let's see, I'm not even logged in on here. Let me take a quick look. Another thing too as well, guys, is as you guys can see, we have LastPass, so she manages all of that. We need to put the LastPass password into here though. I'll tell her that tomorrow. But yeah, I never use Slack actually on my laptop. I always use it on my phone. That's why it's not on here. But if you guys come in here, we have our Caruso's, and that's what my company is going to be called once we get into the shop, is Caruso's Auto Boutique. But real quick, that is pretty much everything in here. Let's jump straight on into here. Alrighty, and boom. So in here, you guys can see she always has constant communication with the team. Like I said, they can also direct message each other in here. And obviously, you guys can imagine how good this system will work with the Slack channel once the company really grows and has tons of employees. They'll be able to communicate on it with each other on here. They'll be able to just, have the company flourish 24/7, because communication is so amazing and you guys need it inside your company. And that's where the Slack channel comes in. So this is where she goes. She kind of does that team coordination. And even too, on Tuesdays, we have team meetings where she'll hop on with us, we'll discuss. And then also too, when she's ordering inventory and she can kind of communicate with my lead tech, it comes into play because, we want to make sure we're ordering the right things. And sometimes, when we get new equipment, new chemicals, she just needs to know what to order. So then she'll just text my lead tech through Slack and she'll be able to, make sure she's ordering the correct thing in there. But on that though, that's another thing, team coordination. That's pretty much everything there that she goes forth and does. And another thing too that she does is she does social media management. Now, this is actually a huge one, guys. As you guys know, I run meta ads, through obviously Facebook and Instagram. So when you guys run meta ads, you guys are going to get tons and tons of followers. So you guys are going to make sure that you're constantly posting on these platforms so you're always top of mind for your customer. So pretty much what's going on in here is what I have her do is I have her just throw up these posts because I don't want to do these anymore. That's a low leverage task that I don't want to be completing. All I want to focus on is sales and marketing. So, like I used to post in the past and just took up way too much of my time. So now what she does is what we actually have in place, which is amazing too as well, is we have a company Google Drive folder for content. Now, as you guys can see here in here, it's called Caruso's Content. It's super organized. Like I said before, everything is organized. What we have is just a simple content dump. So, if I'm on the field and I get videos, if my guys get videos, because I actually have my guys record videos and photos out on the field. When they do that, at the end of the day, they'll just come in here and they'll just, throw it all into the content dump section. And then what she'll do is she'll organize them. And then once they're organized, she'll take those videos and toss them up on the Instagram, on the Facebook, on the LinkedIn, every social media platform to ensure that we're omnipresent and make sure we're always top of mind for our customer, constantly posting on stories, constantly posting on grid posts, reels, all that sort of stuff. And overall too, she doesn't edit them up like crazy. She just kind of posts them on there because overall our Instagram and our Facebook They're just going to be, you know, a place where our customer can go to see our proof of work, see what our company's like, because the top of funnel where they're coming from is simply going to be that meta ad. So they're going to see that meta ad, they're going to follow our company, and then they're going to constantly see our content. And also too, they see the meta ad, they see that we're running 50% off for our ceramic coatings. Then what we can go forth and do is they'll click on our profile and they just want to see if we're an actual legit company. And having all this content on there is key. And all that content, we don't want to be posting that content. We can delegate that to our operations manager VA. So that's another amazing thing we have her do, is just social media content organization. Another key thing we have her do is we have her respond to all those wacky comments that pretty much come up on our ads, because as you guys know, when you guys post ads, especially at over $100 per day, you guys are going to get a lot of wacky comments, you know, saying, you know, shit about your company, all this sort of stuff. So you guys want to monitor those 24/7. So she actually goes forth, delete those comments, block those users. This way we're not getting any of those wacky comments in there. And then other than that though too, let's jump into the next one. So the next one is digital software management. So it's very simple. She manages, you know, all the softwares. And as you guys can see, I actually have her manage our whole entire email. So she manages our email, our workspace email, and obviously once she has access to our workspace email, she can access all the bookmarks at the top. So essentially when she starts her day, she kind of just logs in on her computer, so she can actually see exactly what I'm seeing right now, you know, all of our bookmarks, all this sort of stuff. And she manages everything up here, all of our software. She helps manage the Able, the LEADFUSE, you know, really anything we kind of need at the current time during the company, we go forth and do right here. But yeah, it's pretty much fairly simple. You know, the LastPass is essentially a software where we can organize and put all of our passwords in. This way when we hire a sales rep as well, they can just log into LastPass and have access to the password if they ever need anything. So that's all of that. Other than that though, you know, this kind of ties in with hiring and team support, is communication and leaderships. You know, she obviously manages the Slack, does everything in there. And then once we get the sales rep in place as well, she's going to be able to, you know, obviously talk to the sales rep, you know, do whatever they need to do, have good communication with them. And also another thing too is my operations manager, you know, she's side by side with me. She knows where the company is going. She knows the company goals. And so because of this, she's able to align our other employees up with this goal as well. And yes, I am doing that with my other employees as well. You know, I'm helping them stay aligned with the company goals 24/7, but just so then she knows this as well. This way when she's talking to them, she can also make sure that they're on track for the company goals, for their own goals, all that sort of stuff. Other than that though, just growth and scalability support. So really you can, you know, you can have them as a utility belt for you. You can bounce ideas off of them. You can delegate micro tasks to them, and really anything that's just not worth your time on the back end, you can delegate over to them. Like I said, you know, I hop on a morning meeting with them, and during that morning meeting with them, you can go over what you want them to do for the day, but also too, like I said, have constant communication with them via WhatsApp. And then using that, you know, if you ever have like sometimes, you know, there's just micro tasks like I was saying that you don't want to do yourself, just shoot them a quick text, shoot them a quick voice note, and they'll be able to take care of that. So that's another amazing thing they're able to do. And now this is the biggest one, guys, that I want to jump into. Notion systems management, guys. This is a major thing that I have in the back end of my company, is we kind of run the whole entire company of Notion, guys. So real quick, let's jump straight on into this. So here is our Notion, guys. So as you guys can see in our Notion, we have many different things, and it's still being built out. This is still the beginning of it, but any systems that I can put in place, anything that I could really do in the back end of the company, we kind of try and do it on Notion. This way everything's organized inside of Notion. And as you guys can see on the left side over here, we have Caruso's community dashboards, inventory management, because like I said too, another major thing that you guys can have your operations manager do is actually order the inventory. And how we actually go forth and do that is on your Able in the inventory tab. I have my lead tech take inventory, you know, reset and refresh the reorder thresholds, you know, all that sort of stuff, or not the reorder thresholds, but reset the quantity. This way, you know, the reorder threshold will get triggered. And then once that gets triggered, the operations manager will see that, because we actually have that on the Able schedule every single Tuesday. And every single Tuesday, you know, once my lead tech takes the inventory, my operations manager goes in, see what we're low on, and then she'll use, you know, obviously up here, she'll click on inventory and she'll use any of, you know, because we keep it very simple. We order everything from Car Supplies Warehouse, we order everything from Amazon, everything from Coach Kemi, and pretty much on there, she'll be able to go ahead and order everything. She has our card saved in the LastPass, and she's able to actually order everything. This way, you know, I don't have to worry about inventory anymore. That's handled between my lead tech and her. That's where she pretty much deals with all that. Inventory manager just goes over, you know, how to do the inventory, you know, our finance tracker for that, all that sort of stuff. And also too, employee resources, just kind of, you know, just these simple resources I had her create for my employees, you know, like leave a review QR code, you know, paint correction, all sort of stuff. And this is sort of something I'm going to jump in on another video on how I actually, you know, use these dashboards for every single one of my teammates, to pretty much not my teammates, but my employees, to pretty much go forth and, be organized inside of the company. Like all of them have their own dashboards, and on their dashboards, they have these employee resources that helps, we got a chemical dilution chart, we got training materials, we have lever review QR code, all sort of stuff that I will jump into in another video. But also real quick, the operations manager, she went forth and she created all of these. So she created all the baseline. I essentially assisted her on how to do so, and then I went in and I kind of perfected them. But overall, this was all done by her. And then real quick too, this might be the most important part of this whole entire video on how to actually, utilize this operations manager. So she actually has her own dashboard. So on her dashboard, what we have is obviously the intro of the company. We have her big moves, because every single one of my employees, I kind of jump into their personal, their professional, and their financial goals. This way I can help align them with the company and actually give them motivation to, scale in the company, because not only are they helping the company grow, but they're also growing themselves using the company. And that's obviously something I'll jump into more in another video as well. But in here, we have password management for her. There's tons of stuff. She even went ahead and she created the Miro board that I'm talking to you guys on right now. So that's kind of crazy there as well. I really would have her do whatever tasks I really need done on the back end. There's tons of stuff. We got the Google Drive index down here with all the stuff she does in Google Drive. We have all the content, the social media management guides, how she does stuff on the Instagram, the Facebook, the LinkedIn, the YouTube, the Nextdoor, just to ensure that we are omnipresent on every single platform. But real quick, guys, the main thing that she has in here also too, she has her own, the SOP matrix, which is pretty much every single one of her SOPs, like I was saying, that she organizes in here. And then also too as well, what she does is she has her meeting link right here. So pretty much every single morning we can hop on that morning meeting. And she also has her own roles and responsibilities. This way she knows what she needs to do inside of their company. I have this for every single one of my employees. It pretty much just goes over, their exact roles and responsibilities. This way, if anything changes for them to do, I'll just, hop on a call with them, be like, okay, we're going to change up your contract a little bit, your roles and responsibilities contract. This is what you need to do. But this is literally everything that she does inside of the company. So she has that on her dashboard as well. And then we used to have her on hourly rate. Like I said, now we have her on day rate. But other than that though, that's everything she has here. But the main thing that I want to stress to you guys is she has this here in the middle. So she has her urgent tasks and she has her low maintenance tasks down here. So real quick, what you guys can do is, like I said before, you guys can either, hop on WhatsApp and communicate with them, hey, I want to get this done, shoot them a quick text, a voice message. But one thing that I have done is, when I want a specific long task done for her, like I had her create all of these dashboards, I had her create all of these. The way that you communicate to them fast and efficiently is what I do is, like here, we'll take this one for example. So I wanted her to create this mirror, or not the mirror board one, but I wanted her to start to create our sales rep dashboard, because we're about to get a sales rep inside of the company, and I want that sales rep to pretty much go forth and have the best dashboard possible. So it needs to be super in depth. So this is probably the main question you guys have been running the whole time. How do I actually get her to complete the tasks how I want her to complete them? And here's how. So what I do is simply, I have a task for her to do, and this one, like I said, was create the sales rep dashboard. I'll use ChatGPT. Another thing too is always leverage ChatGPT. I have her leverage ChatGPT. I leverage ChatGPT, and I even created our own company ChatGPT. This way it knows everything about our company. This way, whenever we need any questions, concerns, not only can she hop into it, can I hop into it, but also my guys, my technicians can use it as well, just to see, sometimes they'll even take a picture of a wheel. Hey, does this wheel get destroyed by wheel acid? There's so much things you guys can do to leverage inside of your company. There's so much. We're in the age of, software, AI, all this sort of stuff. Take advantage of it, guys. So what I do essentially with ChatGPT is I pretty much go on here and I'll think of the task, and I'll click on here. I'll show you guys as an example. I will use the microphone option. So I'll hop on here, and I use this 24/7 whenever I actually do use ChatGPT, but I'll hop in here and I'll click dictate, and I'll talk to ChatGPT for about 5 to 10 minutes. I'll be like, hey chat, create a paragraph for my operations manager VA, so this way she knows exactly how to complete this task. And I'll just go ahead and I'll just completely yap to ChatGPT for as long as possible, and it'll create up a massive, well-organized paragraph that I can go then forth and put into her dashboard. Like I was showing you guys before, I can put that into her dashboard, and in here she can see exactly how to do it. And look how organized this is, guys. This is absolutely so damn organized, so she knows exactly what to do. That's why every single task that I give to her gets completed so properly, because everything that I use on ChatGPT, it pretty much shows it to her perfectly. Look at this. It put everything on here exactly how I talked into ChatGPT with it. So that's kind of how, you know, I have her do stuff. This way I have, you know, make sure the tasks that I have her get done as accurately as possible. But I think that's pretty much everything in regards to, you know, what I actually use my operations manager VA for. I hope I covered everything in this video for you guys, because truly an operations manager VA, she's helped my company out so much. I was able to move so much quicker. Another thing too is just like most VAs, she completes tasks so damn quick that we were literally able to have all this Notion built out within a week, guys. If I didn't have her in place doing this while also doing sales, focusing on my marketing, all this other stuff, would have literally probably taken me 3 months. So a task that would have taken me 3 months took me only 1 week with the operations manager in place. And I'll also too, for future scale of the company, she's gonna be in place to do really whatever we need and lower my time, like I was saying before. This way I can focus on higher leverage tasks. So I hope this was a good video for you guys, you know, because I really think that it's really such a good strategy. My mentor told me about it because he has one in his company as well. I don't see a lot of people, you know, hiring operations manager VAs for their service-based companies, but it's so crucial. I hope I got everything across you guys properly. So we're going to jump into more stuff like this in the future. But overall, like I've been saying, I hope you guys gain tons of knowledge from this, because there's so much money to be made, like I've been saying. And this strategy, you know, it's so slept on. You know, not many people know about it, like I was saying. But overall, that's everything this guide. Make sure you guys implement everything that I tell you guys ASAP, because all these strategies are proven by not only myself, but my mentor, you know, and who I've learned them from as well. So, you know, hop on online jobs ASAP, get your operations manager in place. This way you guys can start scaling your company faster while doing less, guys. All right. Peace out, guys. It was a wonderful time chatting with you guys. Let's scale our businesses together, and let's actually start to make as much money as possible inside of the detailing industry.